morning to the Knowledge family. How everybody doing today? I just want to say hello to everyone. Thank you all for all your support. Really is appreciated. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. As y'all see the title, it is Why is Black People Leaving the Black Church? Okay, so let's go into that, because I was having a discussion about that earlier this week, and I kind of wanted to come on here and talk to everybody because y'all already know my opinion. Now I'm telling you now, if you are, hardcore church and don't like debates or don't like to listen to another point of view when it comes to church, then you might not even want to look at this video here. Just go ahead on and skip, because I don't need your negative comments all up in the comment section. Okay, now the thing is that people have to learn how to listen to other people's point of view, and I will listen if you do it respectfully in the comment, because I tell everybody this is a knowledge channel, and on this channel we do subjects like this, and I also teach on this channel in my playlist if you go to it. So the disrespect and everything that people say towards my subscribers or my viewers or whoever leave a comment, if somebody come behind them and say something very nasty or negative, it will disappear. Because if everybody can read like the knowledge say, YouTube guidelines have right at the top, please keep all comments respectable. Okay, and if you cannot do that, do not leave anything, because it will disappear. Now let's go ahead on and get on to the subject in hand of why are black people leaving the church. Okay, so pastors and congregation, I have a whole lot of mouthful for everybody today. But first of all, you have these black churches that's sitting inside our black communities, right? And this message is for the majority of pastors and the congregation of the church or whatever. Not all, but it's to the majority of them. Okay, so that's who this message pertains to. And this message is not for anybody to get offended and all that stuff like that. I'm just trying to tell people how come black people are leaving the black churches. Okay, so if you want to hear it, here it go. Now, the church has become more of the tail light instead of the headlight. Okay, so now, why is the church sitting in our black communities all around the United States, and they neglecting the communities? They neglecting the black communities and the people who are living inside the black communities. Okay, now they doing all this, but their church resides inside of that black community. But they will constantly neglect, ignore all the toxic and all the problems that's going on inside of the black community. Okay, so now a community is supposed to be an area where people share their community together. They're supposed to care about their community. They're supposed to really have love for their communities. It's a lot of communities that have love for each other where they live at. Okay, and that goes the same for the church that reside inside that community. So if the community have love for each other and they have love for their community and they share their community and they looking out for each other and things like that, the church is not an exception to the rule. The church is supposed to be the same way. The same way. The same way. And, the community, they show support for each other and all that, but the church is not giving that community back the same thing, which a church is supposed to do. Okay? So now, actually, the church is inside every community who reside in there is supposed to be showing love, care, support, and all that for that community that they reside inside. So let me explain to everybody how and what a church is supposed to be doing and how they supposed to be serving the people in the community and how they supposed to be serving God or Jesus or whoever they worship. I always say the higher power because I don't know who everybody worship. You know, you have different church worship different things, so I just say the higher power, okay? But this is, let me explain to everybody how and what the church should be doing. So let me take you back a little bit just for a moment, y'all, and let me explain to y'all what church was really supposed to do. Okay, what they are supposed to be doing. Now, I'm going to take you back a little bit for a little moment. But in the 1800s, I don't know if anybody know this, you can look it up to research it, so you'll see that what I'm saying is correct. But in the 1800s, there was a minority church called the First African Baptist Church. Okay, now, this church would rotate different women and men in the church to serve their community, okay? And they would get together every day of the week. Notice what I said. Every day of the week to help uplift the people in their community, okay? And they formed an organization called the Local Council of Independence Order of St. Luke's, okay? Now, they got this name from St. Luke, who loved to help the poor and help the needy. Okay? Now, I'm talking about they went to door every day helping women, children, and men who were in need. Now, they did this. Now, they really helped these families that they went to door. I ain't talking about they went to no door to door handing out those old pamphlets talking about, hey, you want to read this? Can I leave this pamphlet with you? Can I leave this book with you? I ain't talking about that kind of door-to-door stuff. I'm talking about when they went to door, they really came to each door to help that family. If that family was in need, they was going to help them. It was no ands, ifs, or buts about it, okay? And they didn't limit themselves to helping only their church members, okay? They gave help to every single person inside their community. And they recruited more dedicated members because of what they did in the community, okay? Now, they paid for burial expenses for people in the community so that the people's loved ones could be laid to rest with dignity, okay? They also formed a program called Good Ideas Council. It's called Good Ideas Council. And with this program, they help people learn how to read and write. And then they went to the homes of people to make sure that everyone struggles was a little bit easy. That's what they did. And they did this every day of the week. Now, they also help people in the community strive for a better living. Now, they had a program for children and teenagers to help them enhance their education. Now, the kids was going to school and everything, but they also had a program that enhanced their children and their teens, which means that they was trying to put them on a more advanced level. See, they was going to school, but then they would go to this church program school, and then they will get more enhancement, okay, on education. Now this is what this church did. Okay, now look it up. Now, they also had a program to help the whole community learn how, like I said, to read and write, and they helped everyone that was around for a better living. They had all kind of programs. They went door to door. I'm talking about they went door to door and they help with food, they help with clothes, they help with the disabled. They did all that. If you didn't have it, you can bank that they was coming to your house and provide something for you. This is what the church did for their community. This is what that black church did for their community. And this is what you are supposed to do. This is what church was designed to do, along with spreading the message. You know, so our higher power wanted the church to spread the message, but they also supposed to be out here helping the poor and the struggling. That's the higher power goal and message and demands. Okay? Now, this church here, get back to this church. This church doors was always open. 7 days a week. The church door was always open for anybody who was in need of help. They didn't close their door. They didn't lock their door. They kept their door open 7 days a week. For anyone who runs into a situation or is in need for some type of help or something, their doors was always open. Always open. It never was locked. Okay? Now, this church of African American people came together to help each other and to help others. Now, the church made many achievements and many accomplishments. Now, I ain't going to go into all that because it'll be too long. You can look it up for yourself. But this church made many achievements and many accomplishments for their community. Okay? And there were also... It was another member of that church, a woman, and her name was Miss Maggie Walker. Miss Maggie Walker and some more other, because she was determined to remove poverty out of the community, out of their community. Where that church was residing in, she had made it her mission to remove poverty out of their community. So Miss Maggie Walker got together with some more other church members, and they came up with an idea, okay? They came up with an idea to raise money and start their own newspaper thing. Start their own newspaper. And the newspaper was called the St. Luke's Herald. Okay? So now, they selling newspapers. And the money from the newspapers was to help people in need in their community, and also they were saving up their money to do something else with it. And I'm gonna tell you what they was doing, what they were saving that other little half of money up to do. Okay, now they sold these newspapers, and 1 year later, after selling all these newspapers, they opened up a bank. They opened up a bank for their community, okay? And the bank was called St. Luke's Penny Savings Bank for their community and for the people in their community. So the black people could turn their nickels into dollars, okay? Now you got to hear me. This is what churches are supposed to be doing, okay? And this right here ain't been happening for way some decade. This was in the 1800s and went right into the beginning of the 1901 or whatever, because it was in 1901, I think, that they opened up this bank. Okay? And that, like I said, that bank was called the St. Luke's Penny Savings Bank. And this was for all the black people in the community to start turning their pennies and their nickels into dollars. And this is what, because they wanted a better living for everybody inside of that community, inside the black community. So now, y'all see where I'm going with this message right here. So now let's jump back into today. Because if the pastors and the congregation and the churches of today, you know, and in the past, who are sitting, if the ones who are sitting in these black communities would, and they say they worship Jesus and they worship God or they worship a higher power or whoever, the point is, these pastors and these churches today are not doing anything I just mentioned in here. The majority of them are not doing none of it. They're not doing none of it. They're not doing, but they say that they are doing the higher powers work. They say they doing the higher powers mission. They say that they trying to guide you in the higher powers direction and all that. It could be, but what about the higher powers mission? The mission. And the mission is the churches know that it should be no one out here struggling. They have a mission that is everlasting to make sure that these people are not struggling inside their community and helping them enhance themselves. Not no handouts, helping them enhance themselves so that they can have a better living and a better way of life. See, but it ain't happening. So everything I just mentioned is not happening. So why are they not doing the exact same thing I said that church was doing in the 1800s and right up in the 1901 and a little bit beyond? How come that is the real mission that they was doing? So how come that the mission is not the same today and in the past for a lot of these churches and preachers that reside inside our black communities? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I want to know. I really want to know. I want to know. And I don't know whoever that everybody worship to. I don't know. I'm telling you what the church is supposed to be doing. Okay? Now, point blank, period. And that ain't what I want the church to do. It's what the higher power demanded the church to do. And it's not happening. It's not happening at all. So, now, you're supposed to be spreading the word, and I done said that. But you're also supposed to be doing this, and it ain't happening. Now, I don't know who changed the church rules. I don't know who changed the high power mission. I don't know who think that they took the place of the higher power to change the rules of how the church supposed to go. I don't know who so-called thought they was better than the higher power and changed all these damn rules and got all this mess going on. And I can tell you right now, the higher power ain't happy about none of this mess here. And I don't know who it was that changed the mission of the higher power. I don't know who took it upon themselves to change the real purpose of what the church is meant and what the church mission is supposed to be. Now, I don't know who changed it, but they all wrong. Okay? Now, the church is supposed to be helping people. They're supposed to be participating in their community. They're supposed to be serving. They're supposed to be serving everybody, helping everybody, enhancing everybody, striving for everyone to do better in that community. They're supposed to be making positive changes inside of those communities that they church reside in. Okay? They're supposed to be helping the homeless off the street and showing them a better way of living and teaching them a better way of living. They're supposed to be helping struggling families. They're supposed to be having programs to where people can learn how to do different job opportunities. They're supposed to have a program for job opportunities. They're supposed to be having all this. But instead, the majority of these pastors and their congregation all done changed the rule to their own rule, and their rule is juice the whole community out of their damn money. Juice them out of their money. And rob from the poor and give to the rich. Or take from the poor so they can become rich. You know? And they turning their backs and turning their heads on all the violence and the crime and the destruction that's going on inside of that community. They taking from the poor and they buying these lavish cars and they buying these $1 million homes or thousands and thousands and thousands of dollar homes, and they buying planes and jets and they buying boats and they eating the finest dishes that the restaurant has to offer. And the whole time, the people in those communities are starving and struggling like hell. But people want to know why the black people are running away from the church. You hear me now? Do you hear me now? And, you know, while the people who is giving money in the collection plate is struggling and striving and starving, oh, church pastors and some of the deacons and some of the ushers and everybody else are living real fine and good. Living real fine and good. And we'll walk right out that door of that church and see a drug addict over there pumping their veins. And they'll still turn their head and jump inside their Mercedes or jump inside their Benz or jump wherever and go to that $1 million house as if they did not see that man or that woman struggling right on the side of their church. But then you ask why black people are leaving the black church. Can you hear me now? But anyway, let's get back to this. Now, they taking the poor people money out of the community and they going on these lavish vacations, and then they tell the church that they need to go on these vacations so that they can spread the word all around the world and spread the message that God has. Oh, really? Because the message that I know that God has, that real message and mission is to be helping the ones who are struggling. See, the higher power is not too keen on his people starving, suffering, and dying, and will do anything to prevent that, and want the followers to do anything they can to prevent that. So if you're not going to do that, you ain't really a follower. Can you hear me now? Or can you understand me now? Or most people ready to click off? You got to hear what I'm saying. But sometimes the truth do hurt. But this was a message from that higher power that it need to be said. And it don't need to be said in a nice way or a nice nasty way. No. Give it to them raw and rugged. Because this is so wrong. So wrong. That this is going on within the church. And the preachers and the pastors or whoever they are. Taking from the poor. And they getting filthy rich. While the poor is struggling their ass off. You know? And they buying their mistress. They mistress things and buying the wives things. And they buying the mistress cars and the wife got cars and they got cars. All this right here. They paying for Pooh-Nanny on the side and all that stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, some women pastors that do it too. They ain't excluded. There's some women pastors that do the same thing as the male pastors do. Just a whole bunch of foolery going around inside a lot of these churches. But then you wonder why the black people are leaving the black church. Can you hear me now? But anyway, there are the majority of pastors who are stealing, lying, and they act like or they think that don't nobody see it. Okay? And they robbing the congregation and the church and the community blind. But this is what church has become. You know? And they passing that collection plate around 4 times for 4 different reasons. Just juicing folks. You only got about $5 to your name. And they talking about 10% tithes and all that. Okay, well, the collection plate going around 4 times, I done did 40% tithes. And then if I ain't did 40% tithes, if I ain't got but $5 to my name, I leave out of there with $1. I got, because it go around 4 times, I got to put $1 this time, and then they wait 30 minutes, clap, oh yeah, clap, oh yeah, then that collection plate come right back again and hit your ass. And you got to put another dollar in there. Then, oh yeah, then the collection plate come back around, you got to drop another dollar in there. Oh yeah, for another 45 minutes to an hour. Here come that damn collection plate again. Kick that collection plate over. What is it for? Because I'm looking outside this community and it look rugged and raggedy. What is it for? Because you sure ain't doing nothing for the black community. What is it for? What is all them plates going around now for? Oh, it's time to pay for that yacht. It's time to pay for that boat. Time to pay for the mistress and everybody's cars. Hey, don't get mad at me. And don't say I'm the devil, because I've given you the word. What was gave to me from the higher power, because he's sick of it. Sick of it. Sick of it. Better change your word. Everybody want all this national, all this nature disasters are happening and all that. He's sick of it, or she's sick of it. However, whoever you worship to, sick of it. Do it the right way. You might see a whole nother change. Or it's going to continue to be some rumbling and rambling around this nature if people don't change their way. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you got people that's dying right outside the church door. Killings and shootings right there in the neighborhood. All kind of sexual assaults going on right there in the neighborhood where that church resides at. Right outside the door. And they act like they don't even see it. Because 9 times out of 10, they don't even live in that area. Like I said, they got their little big houses and big yachts and asking for this all this money going around the collection plate, and then you have your senior citizens and other church members and some people that after they go and live this old lavish life, you got these members that's walking in the rain to the bus stop and barely got enough money to get on the bus or get on the train or get an Uber or get a cab because the church done juiced them out of all the little money that they did have. Yeah. They don't get a bus ride home from the church. Church ain't even got a bus to take all the elderly home or all the people who don't have cars home. Don't even have a bus to pick them up and bring them to church and take them back home. The majority of them don't. But see, this is what's supposed to be going on. Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of mad ones because I'm telling on. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's supposed to be. And then you have some of them that as long as that money keep flowing inside that church and flowing in that election plate or collection plate or whatever, they don't give a damn about that community. You can chop that. They don't give 2 damns about that community they church reside in. Just as long as that money keep coming inside that church. You know? And the church is supposed to have morals and duties to that community. And be involved with helping everybody in that community. All around that community. The church is supposed to play a virtual role. In assisting everybody in that community. They're supposed to be dedicated to removing poverty. They're supposed to be dedicated to helping the youth. They're supposed to be dedicated to making sure that the youth have a good education. They're supposed to be dedicated to having child care so that the parents can work. They're supposed to be dedicated to having a marriage counselor little program going on inside that church. They're supposed to be dedicated to how to help a single mother and a single father come together and learn out their differences so that they can raise this child together instead of the home being separate. and all these single family homes. They're supposed to have some type of counseling for that, some type of program to help all this stuff. Job opportunity programs. All this stuff's supposed to be going on. After school program, after school enhancement programs, all kind of stuff. The church is way behind on all this stuff. They way behind. I'm telling you, they way behind, and the high power ain't happy. They ain't happy. I don't care who you worship to, as long as it's righteous, he ain't happy. Or they ain't happy. Not with all this foolery going around and going on inside the churches. But then you want to ask why the black people are leaving the church. Can you hear me now? They want to know why are black people flying out of the church like flies. They fly. They don't come to church no more. They just gone. Don't nobody want to come no more. Don't nobody want to be bothered with it. Don't everybody see it. People ain't dumb. People ain't dumb. People don't wise. Now all that stuff worked for a minute. The church done got over on the community far too long. And it's time for people to wake up and get woke. And stay woke. Because this ain't right. This ain't right. This ain't right at all. This ain't right at all. People don't need no church lying to them, taking from them, taking all their little money. They don't need none of that. They don't need to lead they don't need for no church to take all their money, lead them wrong, neglect them, treat them like they not even there, and then you want to lead them to hell too? Because what all I just mentioned in this video ain't nothing but a pathway to hell. So, you want to use people and make them go to hell too? Because this ain't how it works. This ain't how it works. This ain't how it works. Because I feel like this. If you are the type of church that is doing this toxic thing and toxic behavior inside your community, why are you even there? Close the door, lock it, and get on somewhere. Let somebody have that church that know how to do what they supposed to do with that church, and that's help that community. Ain't no way our black community should be struggling the way it is when it got 15 churches in every block. A church here, block down, a church here, 2 blocks down, a church here, a church, just juicing the community for their pockets. But there ain't nothing coming back to the community. And that's the majority of them. I ain't saying all of them, but it sure is the majority. But it seems like it's a big majority. Because the higher power needed this message to be taught. Because the higher power tired of this. Tired of this. And then, let me tell y'all about some of the black churches in our community and the white churches across town. Because I know this is what I do, help people all the time. And I know some people around here, around the United States and different black communities and stuff, that some of these churches say that they help the black community. They say that they'll help pay your light bill, or they'll help pay your gas bill, or they'll help with you and help. They say that. But I know for a fact and got some receipts. I ain't gonna bust them out right now, but I got some receipts to some of these people who need help, and I have told people who need help, you look it up and say, well, this church here say that they would help you, get your light bill paid or help you through your struggles or whatever like that. And those people will go to that black church, and the black church will say, oh no, we out of funds. They always say they out of funds. It could be where they so-called had just got them funds, and they would tell those black people in that community they ain't got no funds. Or either, we don't do that no more. Yeah, we used to, but we don't pay bills and stuff like that no more. No, we don't do that. But the moral of the story is, it seems like every time somebody if you look it up and you say what church helps the community, What church will help pay a light bill? What church will help pay a gas bill? What church will help with some food? What church? When you look that up, a lot of them are on there on the list as that's what they do. But when you go to them, they say that's not what they do. Or they don't have the funds to do it. Or the funds didn't come in for it. Nah. Because they keeping them same funds. And see, some churches, not all, get government funding if they say they help the community. But see, the community don't know that that church is getting funds for them. They ain't going to tell you. See, you have to look on the list and it'll tell you. You have to Google it up or something. What church helps this? What church helps does this? What church have a daycare program? Or what church have a food bank program? What church? It'll be on the list because, see, they're getting the government money. So it's on the list or it's on the Google, but when you go there personally, the majority of them say, we don't do it. So I think the feds and the government funding need to be checking into some of this. Yeah, I said it. Need to be checking into it. Because if that church is getting money to help getting grants and getting all this government funding, because the government do help churches a hell of a lot. And if they are helping because they stated this is what they do and they are not doing it, oh yeah. Let me dig. Y'all know I'm a financial expert. Let me dig in the financial paperwork. Let me see where it's at, where it's going. Oh, hell no. They'll lock the door on me and try to throw me in the deepest goddamn river they got. But you got to check yourself before you come running towards here. I tell you that right now. This ain't easy over here. This ain't what you want. But anyway, let me tell you this right here. Now, I just told you about that. Now, I know those same people I just told y'all about, and we ain't talking about in no one state. We talking about in a whole lot of different states, because this is what I do, help people. And I look this type of stuff up for them. And then they come back and tell me and other people that help them, oh no, they ain't doing that. They say they don't help people. They say that. But then you can go across town to the white church. You can look it up, and they'll have some of the white churches that do help people. And you go up there, and the white church help people that's not even in their community. Not even in their zip code. And those people got help. The majority of them got help from the white church. Way across town. And then they had to find a way to get way across town to go and get help from the white church. And guess what? White church didn't waste no money by sending all the paperwork in to either the electric company or either the gas company or wherever, or the food bank. Ain't waste no time. Told them go downstairs and they packing up sacks and bags full of food. And I think that white church, there's a couple of white churches have it where you can get help at least once every 2 months. Every 2 months, then you can go back. Every 2 months, well, why in the hell is the black church? Why they ain't? And then the thing about it is the white church, I found out by going and talking to them, because I appreciate them helping our people that's in need. And I go and I take flowers. I go and I donate stuff to them myself. Because I know that they do not only help their community, but ours too. And when I get to talking to them, then a lot of them tells me that that's not even grant money they use to help people every day. That's money that they get from the collection plate. And they only have one round of collection plate money. They don't send that joke around no 4 times. They only get one collection plate. And they take half, and I guess pay whatever their bills are, and they take the other half, that's to help people. They don't even accept funds from the government. Some of them, white churches, some of them don't. But then you got some black churches you can't pull help out of. Can't pull help out of. And then you also Let me tell y'all about this. Then you have, like I said, you have the killing, the sex trafficking. You got all the assault and sexual assaults, everything, drugs going on in the neighborhood, gangs going on in the neighborhood, and the black church sitting smack dead in the middle of it and act like they don't see it. But then if you miss your tithes, they got the nerve to call some people up or front people out about they ain't paid their tithes. Because they want to pay for their lavish living. Oh, please. The hell you say. And then they got the thing called the sick and the shut-in. You have sick and shut-in people in the church. And then it's some members of the church that can't come to church because they are sick. And some of them are beginning to be terminally ill and can't come back to church. It don't be a preacher come to their house. It don't be a deacon come to their house. It don't be a usher come to their house to see about them folks or nothing. They up there in the church talking about, let's pray for sister so-and-so. She's not feeling well, the sick and the shut-in. But don't not one time do they go and see about sister so-and-so or brother so-and-so to see how they doing or what they need. And some of them don't even have family no more. But they don't even go and truck it to that person's house and see if they need some food, see if they need somebody to go get their medication, see if none of that. This is what the church is supposed to be doing. And they're not. And they're not. They gives a damn about sister or brother such and such who is sick. Because brother or sister such and such can't put no more money in the election plate. They might send somebody over there to go grab that 10% tithes, and that's about it. Won't even leave a Coca-Cola, or won't even leave something cold to drink. Nah. So they ask, why are the black people leaving the church? Can you hear me now? Can you understand me now? Because somebody has changed the rules on how churches are supposed to do in every community. It's not just black community. I told y'all that the white churches are doing it in their community and then taking care of some of the people in the black community. So somebody in the black culture with these black church has changed the rules of what the higher power intended them to do. The only rule they sticking with is spreading the word. But what good is the word if you ain't abiding by it? That's what I want to know. You ain't going to take me to hell with your hell now. Because see, I do what I can for anybody who's in the need for help. Because that's what you're supposed to do, whether you belong to a church or don't belong to a church. If you on the side of righteous, your mission should be to find someone to help and help them out their struggles. You don't just give to them, you help them learn how to fend, eat, and survive on their own in the right way. And they pass that favor down to someone else. That's what it's all about. I'm going to tell y'all one more thing right quick before I close this out. But I'm going to tell you, I had a lady that had a couple of people around my neighborhood in the summertime. They knock on your doors or something. See, they really can't get towards around here because I have a vicious pet dog, and you know, I see them ringing other people's doorbell. You know, they want to talk to you, leave your pamphlets and all that crap right there. Okay, now it was one day they always skip me because either my dog, I don't know, but they always skip here. So one day I was out there in my yard playing around and cutting down some flowers and all that. I just felt like doing a little yard stuff, okay? And it's sometimes that I don't want nobody cutting my grass. I cut it myself. I chop everything down myself. I may landscape everything myself. So I'm outside one day, and then the same people, they always come on a Friday or a Saturday, and they walking. They see me outside, y'all. And so this older lady walks up to me, hey, can I give you a pamphlet and talk to you? And I said, oh, I looked at the pamphlet, and I said, okay. She said, well, I just want to talk to you about the word of, the higher power or whatever. Just want to talk to you about the word, and just want to, just leave this here pamphlet with you. And I just want to know, have you ever realized the ending of the world is coming and all this stuff right here? I said, before you finish talking, all due respect, what church are you representing? And she told me. And I said, okay, do y'all have a program for children and teens, after school program to help them with their lessons? Do y'all have a program to help women and men with job opportunities? Do y'all have a drug treatment program? So now she's looking at me, and then she says, no, I don't think we have that. I said, well, have you been with the church long? Because you would know, how long have you been? Well, I've been with the church about 10 years now, and I don't ever recall us having any type of program like that. I said, oh, okay. She said she switched over from another church to that church, So I said, oh, okay. I said, well, before you talk to me, I need for your church to get those programs going. Once y'all get those programs going, then you can talk to me. In all due respect. But I am big on helping the people in my community. And if a church is not doing that, I don't need your pamphlet. I don't need you to talk to me, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So I asked her, I said, do you have a card for your pastor or whoever it is that you're representing the church? No, I don't have one. I said, well, could you ask your pastor, when are y'all going to get these things started? Or talk to him or her about getting these programs started. Yeah, okay. I said, when you talk to them about getting it started, I said, I see you come by here every Friday and Saturday. I'm going to make sure I'm out here so I can see what they say. Oh, okay. That next week she come, true enough. They back walking and a knocking. And I was out there because I know they can't get too close to me because of my dog. So I come out there. And then she tried to go past me, y'all, as if she didn't see me. And I said, she don't want to come over here, so it ain't no good news she got for me. I called her and I said, hey, did you talk to your pastor about those programs or whatever? Yeah, he said he's not interested. Sure did. And I told her to tell him that I can help them start these programs, or show them how to create these programs and get these programs going. So when she went back and told that pastor, whoever it is that she over their church, they said they are not interested. Sure did. So that's what we dealing with. I said, oh yeah. And then she said, yeah, he said he's not interested. But I would like for you just to come to our church and just to see what we about, because we a very good church. I said, I'm not saying y'all not a very good church. I'm saying you're not following the higher power's mission and dedication that he wants from the church. So therefore, I cannot come to your church. So that's all I want to tell y'all. So I want to know one question for a lot of these churches that's residing inside our black communities and sitting smack dead in the middle of all this chaos and ain't doing nothing, ain't giving back, just taking. Why the hell are y'all there? Sell it. And if you're not allowed to sell it, give it to somebody who's going to do something with it. Why are you there? That's all I got to say about that. Gain knowledge to prevent blockage. And we all know what that means. The more you know, the harder it is for anybody to block y'all from y'all goals and success. Bye-bye, and y'all have a nice day.